Hello everyone, I'm Brandon Whited, one of the trustees with Titanic International Society, and I'm here in the historic Springhill Cemetery in Lynchburg, Virginia, to talk about a victim of the SS Morro Castle fire, which occurred on September 8, 1934, with the resulting loss of 137 lives. The gentleman that I'm visiting today was named Harry Acre Lipscomb. He was an employee of the Southern Railroad living in Alexandria, Virginia, and he and one of his co-workers, a man named Frederick Falconer, had actually been vacationing in Havana since August 1934, and they were returning home on board the SS Morro Castle. And of course the unfortunate and somewhat mysterious fire broke out on board, and both Mr. Falconer and Mr. Lipscomb perished. Falconer's body was identified pretty quickly. However, it took about a week before Harry Lipscomb was found. Lipscomb was actually found washed ashore around Point Pleasant, New Jersey, about a week after the fire. There was some speculation initially that he may have not even been on board the Morro Castle, but sadly it turned out he was. He was in cabin 225. And initially he wasn't buried in this cemetery. He was probably buried in either Alexandria or Richmond, but around May of 1935 his body was brought here, possibly after his mother died and was buried here. He was brought here to be buried beside her. Almost exactly 4 years to the day before his own tragic death, Harry had a very tragic event happen in which his young son, Whitfield, who was a firefighter, was killed. He and his company were on their way to a fire when someone pulled out in front of the fire truck, and the fire engine rolled into a ditch, and young Whitfield's neck was broken. And that occurred on September 4th, 1930. Exactly 4 years later, almost to the day, his father was lost on the SS Morro Castle. Much of this information was researched and provided by Jim Kalafis. Thank you, Jim. And now we're actually going to look at the headstone of Harry. And his son, Whitfield, is buried next to him. They were both reinterred here on the same day in 1935. Again, possibly when Harry's mother passed. That may have been the reason why they were brought here. Very tragic story. Not a event that's very well remembered. At least the human side of it isn't. But this highlights one of the many stories that occurred as a result of the fire aboard the Morro Castle. Stay tuned to our YouTube page for more of our On the Road series, and as always, we'd love to have you as a member of Titanic International Society. You can find out how to join by visiting www.titanicinternationalsociety.org. Thanks everyone.